Bicycle Thieves was directed by Vittorio De Sica, filmed in 1948, and was an Italian neo-realist drama that showed the realistic view of poverty. It portrays the story of a penniless guy searching for his stolen bike in post-war Rome. Without the bike, he would lose his job that is meant to save his young family. This movie shows the ways that family struggles every day to make ends meet.
Antonio Ricci, played by Lamberto Magaroni, is about to have his life changed in post-World War II Rome. He gets hired as a cinema billboard assistant after 2 years of being unemployed, but the job requires the use of a bicycle that he does not have. His wife Maria, played by Linnea Carell, sells the family's bed linens, which were a wedding present to them, in order to retrieve Antonio's bicycle from the pawn shop and allow him to take the job. Following the theft of his bike, Antonio sweeps the city with the help of his young son, Bruno, played by Enzo Staiola, becoming increasingly desperate for justice. He visits the fortune-telling lady and is dissatisfied with her evasive response. Antonio, desperate for a job to support his family of 4, is forced to make the decision that he believes is best for him and the family he has to support.
What stood out to me about the movie Bicycle Thieves, debuted in 1948, which is a very long time ago, is that the problem Antonio Ricci is dealing with continues to exist today. I view the stolen bicycle as a portent of what might happen to his family, and that all of that he has worked for could be taken away. When Antonio's bike is stolen, he attempts to track down the thief, but one of the culprit's friends assists in keeping them hidden. His new job is now imperiled unless he can find the perpetrator. I believe it is always about what was linked to the bicycle rather than the bicycle itself. Antonio Ricci's employment is also taken when the bike is stolen. Antonio Ricci remained desperate to reclaim the bike, not because he owned it, but because he did not want to lose the job he had fought so hard to obtain. As he loses hope of getting his bike back, we can see his desperation rise. He would do anything to get his bike back, but he forgot what he was doing in the process. The attempt to steal the bike was initially what got him into trouble. Although neorealism was just a cinematic movement for around a dozen years, the impact of the films made in this style have been enormous in world cinema for many decades. Movies during this golden age of Italian film mostly centered on non-actors and natural contexts, with plots addressing the plight of the poor, the evolving political climate, and how to regain their national identity. The most notable international cinematic actions were that the film's setting was in Rome, Italy, presenting different locations as well as the language and the narrative of discussion. The film also portrayed a problem that is widespread in many nations. In addition to the classifications, the character status positions were conveyed to the viewer by the apparel they wore. The clothing shown by an affluent family is depicted in their lavish attire concludes in the women wearing extravagant hats and the males wearing well-made suits. The relatively plain attire that Antonio families wears throughout the film depicts their lower social standing. The clothes that Antonio wears are simple and out of date. The props were also used in the movie to show a lack of wealth and misfortune throughout the movie. When seeing the inside of Antonio's home, there are minimal decorations and the place seems bare, where at the Sears house, there is an abundance of trinkets and decorations. The different bicycle props dispersed throughout the film add to the suspense, since the viewers are undoubtedly waiting to see if he finds his bicycle. Furthermore, the number of bicycles emphasizes just how bad Antonio's situation is. All this man needs is one simple bike to get to work, and there are plenty of them nearby. Mise-en-scène can be described as the arrangement of props, setting, makeup, lighting, essentially everything in the frame that tells a story. The makeup artists used makeup to make the cast look as if they had dirty faces, such as the chimney sweepers or exploited mechanics. This use of mise-en-scène helps the viewers understand what the characters go through every day. This is because it symbolizes that they are often subjected to do manual or cheap labor to earn money. At the time in Rome, everyone rode bicycles as means of transport. However, it feels as if Vittorio put the cyclist in the shot to hint at our sympathetic emotions towards Antonio. The use of many cyclists also makes the viewer think that Antonio should just steal a bike. The movie is meant to seem to be set at a time of war, when times were harder for citizens. The movie makes an excellent use of cinematography by utilizing different shots to depict different moods and perspectives. At the end of the film, it is shown as Antonio decides to steal a bike because he is so desperate for one. Long shots in this clip show a big rack of bicycles at the stadium, and viewers can see that he's considering stealing one. The entirety of the movie, Antonio's face is shown closely, his face looking sad and defeated, added to the frustration that we know he is feeling. This makes the audience more responsive to the sympathetic feelings of Antonio. By showing his true emotions, we start to understand his feelings. The storyline for Bicycle Thieves shows the men's position in society, showing how men must be the providers for the family in this post-war time. It also shows the way that things can be passed on from father to son, shown when the father strikes the son, along with when he tried to beat up the teenager he believes stole his bike. Transnational feminism can also be seen in the movie, as the traditional quote-unquote mother roles are also freed when the wife goes to see the seer. Antonio did not understand why she wanted to see the old lady, but once the old women started to flee to her, he was intrigued. The film shows the traveling mat technique when Antonio and his friend are in a truck. This makes the film seem more real, as if it looks like a motion clip of them moving along the streets. This change from traditional Hollywood cinema is important. Different from other productions in Hollywood where the point is to leave the audience happy with the ending, this film does not do that. This film is meant to leave the audience feeling uneasy after seeing the ending did not play out in his favor. We are reminded that the daily struggles do not have a happy ending. The down-in-the-dumps reaction of Antonio to the situation he had put himself in make a relatable ending to the film that makes the viewers able to relate better. I truly enjoyed Bicycle Thieves. Talking about it in class brought me closer to this film. I would recommend Bicycle Thieves to anyone I could. Even though it might be slower in the beginning, I believe it portrays a beautiful message. It shows the societal class system after World War II, which is not something we have experienced in a while, so it is interesting to see the class system at that time. I also think it shows the importance of family and how family go to extreme lengths for one another, even if it means putting yourself in danger. Thank you.